Nothing we say is investment advice. Please pause on all 3 pages of this disclaimer and read it. Greetings, Algo Artisans, Cowboy here, and we are going to take a look at the charts this week. Before we do, go ahead and take a look in the description. There is a goodie in there for you. I've got a free algorithm. I built it. I have a video where you can see me build it. You see how I do it. You see how I turn it into code. I show you the tools that the traders use to connect that algo to their broker so their computer can trade while they are not at the computer. Now, you do have to optimize the algo first before you do that. It's not plug and play, but pretty close to it. Go check that out. It's free. Jump in there, click that link. In the meantime, we're going to take a look at the usual suspects. We're going to start with the Nasdaq. Then we got the USDJPY, EURUSD, Bitcoin, GBPJPY, gold, and silver. Before we take a look at the charts, we're going to take a look at the economic data that's dropping this week that can affect how those charts move, and that's over at forexfactory.com. So tonight at 10:30 p.m. EST, we have the Aussie cash rate, their monetary policy statement. It's their version of the FOMC, and that can push the Aussie dollar around quite a bit. Press conference being a little bit after that, an hour after that at 11:30 p.m. EST. Now, Tuesday, we have some tentative data coming out. We don't know exactly what time it's going to be. It's going to be the JOLTS job openings. And then usually, if memory serves, that's around the market open or just before, but we're going to see when that comes out. So we got to be real careful trading tomorrow. Got to protect positions until we do know what time that's coming. At 4:45 p.m. EST, we have the employment data coming out for New Zealand on Tuesday. Wednesday at 8:15 a.m. EST, we have the ADP non-farm employment data coming out. And then 10 a.m. EST, the ISM services PMI is coming out. Thursday, a lot of British news. We have the Bank of England monetary policy statement at 7 a.m. EST, plus their summary bank rate, all that data, and they have a presser at 7:30 a.m., 30 minutes after that data drops. We also have the Euro main refinancing rate, so it's going to be a pretty wild morning on Thursday. The Euro rate is at 8:15 a.m., and then they'll have their press conference about 30 minutes after that. So there's going to be a lot of volatility, but it may be better not to trade that, at least better for me not to trade it until that all comes out, because when that data comes out, it can be very unpredictable. We also have a tentative amount of data coming out, unemployment claims, that is who knows what time. Usually it is 8:30 a.m. EST. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know whether we're getting that data this week or what time it's coming. We also have at 12:25 p.m. EST, Bank of Canada Governor Macklem speaks, and then we have the Royal Bank of Australia Governor Bullock speaks. That's going to be at 5:30 p.m. EST on Thursday. Friday, we have some Canadian data coming out at 8:30 a.m. EST, and then the University of Michigan data comes out at 10 a.m. EST, and that should add some volatility to the markets. All right, let's jump over to the charts, and we will start with the Nasdaq. Nasdaq holding on. The lower bound I'd be looking at as far as where price might bounce if it goes down is down at 25,180, but I don't think that's going to happen. There's a local support sitting at about 25,850 or so, and price may simply bounce off that and head up if it doesn't head up. Now, there is some pressure pushing price down a little bit, but the overall move is up, right? So it's probably going to go sideways and up. I doubt it will break below that 25,850. It could happen. I doubt it. So I think we're going to maybe not get to the all-time highs this week. Maybe we'll touch it. That's going to remain to be seen. It's going to have a lot to do with the way the markets react. And it has been pretty wild lately. So that's what the algos say. What may happen is going to be a little bit different. Let's move on to USDJPY. Now, USDJPY has looked pretty interesting. There was a big, strong move down. There was a resulting pop up. We might even see price kind of pop up a little bit, but overall, I think it really wants to continue down. Your lower bound at this time is 152.05. And I think price is going to either make its way down there or just kind of grind down into the right until the end of the week. Given how strong that move was down, things have calmed down a bit, and price may just need to range until it decides what it's going to do. Your upper bound is 159.28. I don't see price heading up there. While anything is possible, I just don't see it. Let's take a look at the euro. EURUSD, we might get a pop-up to grab liquidity. If we get a pop-up a little higher than I expected, then that level is probably going to be at that 118.998, the top of where I just put that right here. That might be a liquidity level I hadn't drawn before, but I'm drawing it now. Your upper bound really is that high. I don't see price going up there. This was a blow-off top practically. The euro really moved up to 120. It's now down to 118. I think it's going to slide down a bit, but it'll mostly slide sideways with your lower bound at 116.65. If price touches that lower bound, there's a decent chance it will pop up pretty strong, and the next level down is going to be 115.80. If it goes all the way down there, I would expect price to rise pretty hard, but I don't expect that. Let's move on to Bitcoin. Bitcoin holding on to that 70 handle. It moved down to 74 with all the exciting things happening last week, and Bitcoin really, I think, is done for this 4-year cycle. There are those who think the 4-year cycle may not matter anymore. I think it does. I could be wrong, but it's mattered in the past, and until I see it not matter, I'm going to play as if it does. For the meantime, I have far better tools to use to predict where price might go, and price does seem at the moment like it wants to just grind a little bit up and to the right until it decides whether or not it wants to go all the way up to this 86 sort of upper bound, or if it wants to go down and retest that 74 upper bound. Now, the thing about Bitcoin is if you go way into the past, and I mean back last year, in fact, I'm going to have to move to the daily to see this, you'll notice that 75 is very important, right? 75,000, price made its way up to that at the beginning of 2024. And then when it came back down to that, in early 2025, I think that was March or April, price really rocked up. And this is an important level. 75,000 is a very important level. It wouldn't surprise me to see price stay above 75,000 for a time. And that could be as long as a few months or at least a few weeks. And we're just going to have to see how price behaves whenever it touches 75,000, right? That's just an important number. For the moment, this was a strong move down in Bitcoin. I expect to see price, like I said, either stay above 74, maybe even go up to break 80 or at least retest 80, which is basically 81 is a local upper bound, or even pop up to test 85. We'll see. Let's take a look at GBPJPY. This is just grinding up and to the right. I had it grinding last week. I have it grinding this week. We have a very simple upper bound at 214.84 on the top and at 209.57 yen to the British pound on the bottom. And I expect price to stay well within those bounds and just grind up and to the right a little bit. We'll see how that goes. There's a lot of data coming out this week for the British pound, but this is what the algos say right now. Let's move to gold. Gold and silver, the big news. This was a blow off top. This was a panic buy, especially with silver, but gold was the same. Metal sold off hard last week. A lot of people feel that this was a manipulation, and it may well be. I think price is going to grind up and to the right until it starts to move up. I think this move down was caught. I think important people covered their shorts at the bottom, and we could see price rise up a lot more quickly than we think. Now, these algos I'm looking at have it up and to the right. We could see it kind of calm down and try to make a decision. In the end, there's a good chance that 43.75 will hold. We don't know yet, and after such a large move, it's impossible to know. So I can only map out the general ideas of what I think will happen. It's either going to be a slight up and to the right, a slight grind just to the right, probably not down, or it's actually going to bounce down, crash through 43 and go lower. I just don't see that happening. Physical demand does seem to rule the day. People playing against that seem to rue the day. And I think this will see all-time highs quite possibly before the end of the month. But I don't want to say that until a little bit more data comes in. Let's take a look at silver. Same story pretty much. It's either going to grind a little up and to the right, which I think is what is really going to happen, or it's going to grind to the right with a touch of down. I don't see it breaking below 70, but it could. If it did, the next level down is about 55. That's where price might go to get some liquidity, but most likely I think it's going to grind to the right, maybe a slight bullish tint, and eventually start to take off upwards. But we don't have a lot of data yet. This was a very large move, and when those happen, you kind of have to sit and watch and see what's going to happen. On Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday in the morning at 8:30 a.m. EST, I will revisit these. We're going to take a look, see if I can refine what's happening as the data comes in. So please watch us on YouTube. Again, Tuesday through Thursday, 8:30 a.m. EST. For about 10 or 15 minutes, we go on YouTube live for everybody to see. And the rest of the hour is for the private Live Lab members. It's for them to just request charts or have questions or get training or hear from V the Gorilla whenever he gives his top secret geopolitical information. Now, what we do at Algo Factory is we predict where price is going to go and when it's going to get there. We teach you how to do the same. We teach people how to build a probabilistic model so that they know how to use some tools. They're very basic tools, and they can know how often they're going to be correct if they use those tools the same way every single time. It's like a slot machine. If I had a slot machine and I tell you that you can win 55 or 60% of the time, and I give you $1,000 and I tell you you can bet $20 at a time, what you're going to do, if you know anything about math, is you're just going to hit that button button or pull that crank. 20 bucks in, 20 bucks in, because over time, probabilistically, you will win. That's millionaire fuel, even at 55 or 60%. That's what we teach you to do. We teach you to tilt the odds in your favor. It's very simple. It's not easy. It's like a marathon. It takes work. It's not a get rich quick. And depending on your work ethic, that's really whether or not you'll be successful, whether or not you're willing to put in the work. That's really what it takes. So come on over to algofactory.tech. We do have that free algo, so check that out. Go into the description, pick that up. Again, it's a video. You see me build the algo, turn it into code using Grok. I show you the tools that traders use to connect their algorithm to their broker so it can trade while they're not even at the computer, whether they're golfing, sleeping, doing whatever it might do when you're not at the computer. That's possible. The algo itself, you do need to learn how to optimize that. I would not recommend just plugging it in and having it trade. You got to optimize it for your trading, but it's there and it's really cool. So do that. We'll see you bright and early, 8:30 a.m. EST, Tuesday through Thursday. And thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. Half you people that watch this don't subscribe and you watch it every week or nearly every week. So please do that. We will see you soon.